Sometimes, the loudest cries are the ones no one hears, and the heaviest chains are the ones we wear with smiles. She was a bride, beautiful, graceful, respected, but not free. After years of silence, of enduring pain behind palace gates, Ifeoma makes a choice that will shake everything she's ever known. As the sun rises, so does her courage. She's walking away, not from love, but from a cage. But will freedom come easily? Or will the past fight to drag her back? Welcome to the silent tears of an Igbo bride part 2. Ifeoma's throat tightened. Her heart pounded loud enough for the heavens to hear. Chukwuma stood like an immovable wall, eyes hard, voice calm but sharp. "You were going to leave?" he asked again, stepping closer. For a moment, she couldn't breathe. But something inside her, something long buried under duty and fear, rose up. "Yes," she whispered, trembling but not looking away. "I need to be free. I need to live a life that is mine." There was silence. Heavy, dragging silence. Then Chukwuma laughed, a low, bitter sound. "I gave you everything. Comfort. Wealth. Status. And this is how you repay me." Ifeoma's lips trembled, but she held her ground. "You gave me a beautiful cage. But it is still a cage." He moved closer, now face to face. "So you're going back to that broke mechanic, that bush boy?" Ifeoma's eyes sparkled with defiance. "I'm going back to someone who makes me feel alive. Someone who sees me." Chukwuma's jaw tightened. He turned and walked back to the car. "Go," he said without turning. "But remember, there's no coming back." She didn't hesitate. Bag clutched in hand, heart in her throat, she ran through the gate like a woman reborn. She didn't look back. Not once. The streets were alive now, busy with movement and morning chatter, but she didn't hear any of it. When she arrived at the park, Uchenna was still there, pacing nervously, eyes scanning the road. When he saw her, his whole face lit up like sunrise. "Ifeoma. You came." She burst into tears and ran into his arms. "I couldn't stay. I couldn't live another day without choosing myself. Without choosing you." They sat on a bench, the early sun casting gold around them. "We'll go back home," Uchenna whispered. "We'll start small. A poultry farm, maybe. Or a tailoring shop like you always wanted." She nodded, her hand in his. For the first time in months, she felt light, like a bird that had finally broken free from its cage. Back in Adoni, her return caused a stir. Neighbors whispered. Aunties frowned. But her mother held her and wept. "You are my daughter. No matter what." They moved into a small bungalow at the edge of town. It wasn't fancy, but it was home. Uchenna poured his heart into building a motorcycle repair shop. Ifeoma started a small clothing business, designing beautiful wrappers and gowns. Customers came in droves. Her joy was contagious. One day, as they sat outside watching the sunset, Uchenna handed her a small ring box. "I may not have riches, but I have love. Will you be my wife, properly this time?" Her laughter echoed down the street as she said, "I've been your wife since the day I ran to you." Their traditional wedding was simple and full of heart. No loudspeakers, no big man drama, just palm wine, music, jollof rice, and love. True love. Even Chinedu came, nodding respectfully from a corner. Months passed, and Ifeoma's business grew. She started mentoring young girls, telling her story with honesty. "Your voice matters," she would say. "Even if it shakes, speak your truth." When her parents visited, her father pulled her aside. "I was wrong to silence your dreams," he said. "You have made me proud in a way I never expected." Ifeoma forgave him. The past could not be changed, but the future, it could be anything. She had learned that the hardest roads sometimes led to the most beautiful places. And then came the best news. One quiet morning, she stood outside their small bungalow holding a pregnancy test in her hand, heart racing. Positive. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered, "Thank you, God." Uchenna lifted her into his arms when he found out, spinning her around. we will raise a child full of love, laughter, and choices. Their child was born on a rainy night. A baby girl. They named her Amarochi, Grace of God. Ifeoma looked into her daughter's eyes and knew she had made the right choice. Years later, as Amarochi played under the same jacaranda tree where her parents once reunited, Ifeoma sat watching her, a smile on her lips, heart full. The wind whispered softly through the trees, carrying with it the last remnants of her silent tears. They were no longer tears of pain. They were tears of triumph. Of a journey well fought. Of love that had found its way through sorrow and tradition and fear. People still told her story. Young girls in town whispered it like legend. The Igbo bride who ran from wealth to find her joy. And in her shop, now expanded with apprentices and colorful fabrics hung proudly on the walls, Ifeoma would smile and say, "Never be afraid to choose yourself." When asked if she had regrets, she would pause and touch the beads around her neck, the same ones from that painful day, and whisper, "No. Everything led me home." Uchenna, now more than a husband, her partner, her cheerleader, her anchor, stood beside her through it all. Their love, once broken by silence, now sang like a flute in the morning. And every year, on the anniversary of her return, they would walk back to that same park bench and sit. No words needed. Just a quiet moment of remembrance and peace. Sometimes, they saw other brides in pain, young women trying to smile through forced ceremonies. Ifeoma would gently pull them aside. Not to scold. Not to advise. But to share her truth. Because hers was no longer a story of silent tears. It was a song of boldness, of choice, of love. A story that said, happiness no dey come from gold and mansion. It dey come from peace where your heart choose. And that was the true beginning of Ifeoma's story. Not the end. This is the turning point. This is where her true story begins.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment on my videos.